Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron for Millennium Dawn with me, Alpha Pi Omega, and Ukraine. So, in the last episode we have started what will be known as a military or first phase of our military reform. You know that we already recruited some units and trained. Well, recruited and trained would be the way to go. You cannot train them before you recruit them. And we are now working on a number of additional units that will strengthen our armies. Once that is done, we are going to look at the templates of various units and we are going to deal with them, trying to make them a bit more combat worthy, stronger, and use the rest or most of what we have here in the stockpile. Well, our stockpile of military equipment is not bad. It's nothing to write home about, especially when it comes to the modern equipment. You know that we have, for example, what was it? We have a lot of tanks, don't we? Yeah, we have 3.3 thousand of main battle tanks, but most of these are from the 70s, so they are hardly of any use. We will use them if we're forced to, but it's not going to be anything to write home about. Now, one thing that I wanted to talk during this episode to educate you a bit more about Ukraine was the fact that the fight for Ukraine can, in certain ways, can be seen as a climate change conflict as well. Now, what do I mean by that? You know that the Crimea has been taken over by Russians during 2014. But what I never really spoke about is that Crimea is one of the driest places in the entirety of the region. It's actually so dry that all of the water that's being used there needs to be transported in there. Now, during the Soviet era, there has been the Soviet government has built a channel that takes the water from the Dnieper River and funnels it into Crimea, effectively making the place a lush, nice area. But once the Russian forces taken Crimea, what the Ukrainians did, logically, was block out this channel and drying Crimea out. Now, what that means is that the last year has been the driest in recorded history, and even though there's over, I think, 2.3 million people living in Crimea right now, the area is effectively dying. It's horrifying, actually. If you look at the photos, it's really bad. So what the Russians did is, after they've built the bridge over the Kerch Strait and the Tuzla Island that we mentioned before, they started transporting water into this area. Well, they're doing that, but it's not enough, and it's costing huge amounts of money. So what I have been interested in seeing is the advance of the Russian forces north from Crimea, and it's not really a coincidence that the first city that fell into their hands was the city of Kherson, because if they ever negotiate, I'm pretty sure they're going to be pushing to gain this entire area, effectively meaning that they can regain the canal that's leading from the Dnieper River onto Crimea, destroy the cement blockade that the Ukrainians done, and start using that water to make this area livable again, pretty much, because the entire nature is just really dying there. So I'm interested in seeing how they're gonna go, if they're gonna go for that, because this has been one of the actual reasons why I think a big amount of forces have also attacked from the south, not only from the north against Chernihiv and Kyiv, and from the east through Donetsk and Luhansk, but there was also a large force going from Crimea. Now, the strategy analysis, military analysts would be the correct term in English. The military analysts that I'm listening to mentioned also that what the Russians might do is try to effectively connect the entire area to the Transnistria autonomous, well, if you even want to call it a country, that they will try to take the entire coastline away from Crimea and negotiate for that, because that would give them the complete control over the oil area in here, and also it would mean that they are able to eventually push by legitimizing, the same way that they legitimized Donetsk and Luhansk republics, they could legitimize Transnistria, because they already have some units stationed there, and effectively take over the entirety of Moldavia. So it's kind of a thing in the geopolitical strategy that I already talked about. If they ever manage to take some areas, I think that they will be strongly pushing for penetrating deeper into Ukraine towards the Dnieper River. I think that they would be much more interested in that, even more interested in that than taking the northern areas and the actual eastern areas, because this is very valuable. This area effectively is and it has been said many times by many people that this is an economic disaster for Russia. It's just sucking up all of their money. Okay, and just as I was ending the topic, we got local news. Election campaign heating up as a race enter final 2 weeks. The since last election on Since last, okay, the D is there completely unnecessary. Since last election on 21st November 1999, Petro Poroshenko had been steadily steering Ukraine. With the final voters being cast in 2 weeks, this direction will be challenged by powerful rivals. Most of the campaign's advertisement spending has already happened, and polls are starting to pick up the effects. The farmers are providing the opposition with large amounts of campaign volunteers and enthusiasm. Oligarchs are providing the opposition with massive amounts of campaign funding against Petro Poroshenko, and international bankers are providing a bit of help to several parties, but will largely stay on the sidelines. Given foreign policy debate, Petro Poroshenko faces tough priorities for who to attack. Okay, so he's from the SPU, and the SPU is in a coalition with Freedom. Okay, and the Freedom is not even listed here anymore. Who seems to be winning are the emerging conservatives. Party of Regional Revival of Ukraine is a pro-Russian political party created in 1997. The party asserts it has a pragmatic approach to Ukrainian EU membership with respect to country's foreign economic interest. It supports something to walk the path of European integration and the implementation of respective standards in the social and economic spheres. Yet, given the European financial crisis, the party sees the issue of Ukraine's accession to the EU as purely theoretical. But we could have the Western conservatives connect, for example, with the SPU or oligarchs. So, we'll see what kind of coalition we're going to end up with. So, I finished my explanation of the Crimean situation. Actually, look into that. That is one thing that has been very interesting for me. I've been following the, building of the bridge over the Kerch Strait and the reports from Crimea for quite some time now, because as my girlfriend is Russian, her brother is actually living in Crimea. So, yeah, we've got some really interesting news from the area. Though he was living in Crimea, and now I believe he's living somewhere around here. But I'm not sure. They move around all of Russia. He's a digital nomad, basically. He doesn't have any love for Putin either, so... Anyway, that's beside the point. Foreign policy debate. Petro Poroshenko faces top priorities for who to attack. With the final voting drawing ever closer, we have to decide who we should contrast ourselves against in terms of foreign policy in this election. With the world an increasingly tumultuous place, the issue has become more important for voters than usual. Some hard-hitting negative ads will surely make the population tumble, but there is a small chance they may successfully counter this if they have some serious dirt on us. or if our attacks were based on very poor opponent research. The effectiveness of attack is determined by the amount of campaign funding we received. We did not receive anything. Attack the emerging outlook imbeciles. So either no effect or negative attacks against emerging outlook fall on deaf ears. Attack the Western outlook morons. Or it backfires. Okay, let's attack the emerging outlook imbeciles, but I'm pretty sure we're not gonna get anything. We're pretty much very unpopular. That's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, they really hate us. The oligarchs especially. That's something that I haven't really paid attention to, quite honestly. I know there are some in here that would make them either like us or, support us in some way, but I don't think that's gonna happen in this election. So I'm quite curious actually what's gonna happen. Russia attacks our independence again. Okay. Well, they can do that. I'm gonna repay a bit of the debt. We're finally making bank. That's pretty cool. We're making 0.03 billion per day. Not cool, Vladimir Putin. Not cool. I hate that face so much. Elections. Inconclusive outcome for Petro Poroshenko. The talks begin. With all the votes counted, Petro Poroshenko does not currently have a majority in the new parliament. Yeah, he doesn't, because he's got 15%. Additional parties must be convinced to join. And if this is impossible, control must be left to one of the other parties to let them try to form the new government. Okay. So that's interesting. Okay, so we got you. And I think you belong to here. Yep. So we're gonna join... Wait. Where's the division? Here. Yep. You're joining the First Army, which has now grown to 6 divisions. So let's see what the mission will be. I actually never really done that. As I said, the Millennium Dawn wasn't really something that I have dived that much into, so many of these things are new for me. Oh! Forming government, there's actually a choice here. Petro Poroshenko, SPU, 15% did not reach the necessary majority in the election to form a government alone. We need to invite other parties to join. Parties that got more votes than us will not be interested in joining. The cost in political power to add a party to the government depends on their size and political distance from us. So wait, we got 15%. So Fatherland is non-aligned conservatives. CPU are the communists. Liberals are social democrats. Do we even have the ability to form anything here? Government coalition. Remove Fatherland. Invite oligarchs. Okay, remove freedom. They get 0. Okay, freedom has completely fallen out of the government, so we need someone else in there. We got 15%. These guys get 9.6. Okay, so this is actually not working. Needed strength to form a majority. Actually, no, we can remove freedom. And we could add oligarchs. That's not going to... Damn. What are the oligarchs? I don't think those are... Oligarchy refers to power structure in which control is placed in the hands of a select group. People's Movement in Ukraine is a center-right political party initially organized as the People's Movement of Ukraine for Reconstruction. RUK was founded in 1989 as a civil political movement, as there were no other political parties allowed in the Soviet Union. The organization has its roots in Ukrainian dissidents, the most notable of them being Vyacheslav Chernobyl. Actually, I think we could form PMU, SPU, and Fatherland. That could work. So let's go with these guys. SPU, give up forming government. Petro Poroshenko's political advisors are running back and forth like headless chickens, trying in desperation to find a solution to the crisis of SPU's failure to form a government. Well, we could form it with the oligarchs, but I'm not gonna do that, knowing full well that most of them will be out of job if Petro Poroshenko is put out of office. Meanwhile, in the headquarters of PMU, the excitement is building as they are finally seeing a clear path to taking over the government of Ukraine. Minus 150 political power. Okay, so give up, let these guys try. Wait, what? Oh, we can't do that because we don't have enough power, is it right? Okay, yeah, no, we got it. PMU, invite... They will refuse to be part of any of the coalition takes part. PRU. Not the largest party in Ukraine, and not the second largest. Not above PMU, they are not, so... Invite Fatherland. Welcome aboard team. And... Okay, it's 32, and I want to invite the SPU. But for some reason this is not working. Why? Huh. Maybe it will reset? All of the following must be true. Not the largest party in Ukraine, not the second largest, not above PMU. They are not, so what is blocking it? Negotiations with SPU. Why can't I get them in? Yeah, I'm not going to go with the PRU, but why? PMU got 23%, SPU got 15%, so this seems a bit like a bug. Okay, I'm not sure what to do here. So let's just leave it running. Do we not have enough political power, or what is the problem here? Well, let's wait a bit. If things... All the following must be true. That not is the largest party in Ukraine. Second, no. Are you second largest? That doesn't make sense. I'm not sure what... Vitaly Zima, narcissist. Well, that's just great. Okay, well, let's just invite oligarchs. Welcome aboard the team. Government formed. Okay, I'm not sure why I couldn't get those guys. Since the elections held on 21st of November 2005, Vitaly Zima of PMU have skillfully been negotiating a new majority government. Today, 20th of December 2005, after a period of intense speculations from the media, its composition was finally announced at a press conference. It is a major milestone for Ukraine and the new political dawn. Okay, so... Career politician, conservative idea. Okay, well, we could roleplay that, I guess. That's not so bad. So we got the advanced computing done, and I know I wanted this. Yeah, let's go with the 3G. That's going to lower the cost of education, and then we're gonna go with the edge. Actually, let's go with the edge. That's gonna give us bonus research, and then we're gonna lower the cost of our education. Though I don't think that's that major. Ukrainian elector Vitaly Zima forms a new government. Western outlook emerged victorious. SPU has still 15%. Okay, so let's see. Parties and movements. Western and pro-Westerns. We get the PMU. Okay, this is pretty cool. Governments with an emerging outlook. Are those... Okay, wait, so... We seek to retain the US-centric liberal world order that has reigned supreme since the fall of the Soviet Union. Through institutions such as the World Bank and the IMF, they promote economic liberalization and the denationalization. While the vast majority of countries with a Western outlook are various forms of democracies, pro-Western strongman governments that benefit from the status quo are also behind them. Then there's the emerging outlook, where actually they were in the SPU is down here, which is non-aligned. Okay, emerging outlooks are those, especially in the global South and the post-Soviet sphere, that seek to replace the prevailing liberal world order with their own alternate institutions and multipolar way of global politics. They often have different attitudes towards globalization. Okay. Salafism is an ultra-conservative, intolerant, fundamental offshoot. Okay, so this is Islamic nationalism, basically. The Salafism has seen particularly violent incarnation in the Taliban, Al-Qaeda. Okay. Non-aligned governments vary vastly in government types and sub-ideologies and usually have a very pragmatic approach to their foreign alignments. Many simply want to further their own national independence or other regional goals. Others are torn between greater powers when their struggle for influence pull them in different directions. And the last one is nationalistic governments believe they have gotten the short stick of globalization and seek a national rebirth based on protectionism, militarization, and national and ethnic sovereignty. They love global liberal institutions but may remain pragmatic in their international alignments to further their domestic and expansionist goals. So here's the freedom. Actually, we were aligned with them. Fascists, military junta, and monarchists. Okay, so the oligarchs are the non-aligned. So was the SPU. So actually the SPU, we should have taken the oligarchs on board. I didn't know, in the fatherland. That would have been an ideal coalition. But we aligned with fatherland, okay, and with the oligarchs. So kind of interesting to see. And the Somali war is over. Somalia has been unified. I really doubt that they will be happy about anything, but do they have no, they have the generic tree. Now, one thing that I would recommend, if you're going to download this mod from Steam, dig in deeper. There's a lot of submods that are compatible with the main game. While I'm not using any right now, I will definitely do so in the future if I continue playing these scenarios or play any other countries, because I saw, for example, a specialized subtree for Czech Republic and Slovakia. There was one for Turkey, so you can do quite a lot with the mod, and the stability can't guarantee, but so we have just cut down the general staff. Good for us. So we replace excessive general staff, compact general staff. Effective change starting with new army leaders +2, planning speed increased by 50%, and max planning +10%. So all the benefits. And professional army. So naval speed increased by 10%, division speed increased by 10%, and division attack increased by 5%. The Ukrainian military lacks something that most major European armies have: professionalism. It is time to discipline our forces and reform it into new professional forms. Cool. I'm all for it. So let's check on how our construction is going. Okay, we're building 5 factories now. Still not much time left, only a couple of months in production. Okay, the Humvees are going to be soon replacing the older Zils again. We're working on the small arms, and we are upgrading both our APCs and IFVs at this point. 1.55 per week, that is decent. And we're increasing the production efficiency, which is good. The Humvees are almost at a max, 1.56 per day. That is great. And it's only going to go higher, so we can expect like 1.8 per day. I like that. Now, I have been steadily increasing the relations with the United States. And I know that we would like to negotiate the licenses with them, so I think that there might be some further negotiations here, because, for example, I'm not going to research the battle tanks or the main battle tanks anytime soon, so it might be a good idea to look into that with them. Yes, the Humvees. Do you have any more modern things? Those are the APCs. So it looks like maybe they don't. Oh, no, they do. Look at that. Utility vehicles. So we could ask for these ones. Utility vehicle generally motorized that are designed to carry out a specific task with more efficiency. So can we ask for that? What's the difference between these two? MRAP A1 and MRAP 565, 565, 42. Okay, this one is faster, 43. Reliability 1.8. Okay, so one is slightly faster, 3.25. Oh, they would not accept. Tech difference of requested equipment. Damn. Okay, well, that's not good. Okay, well, we get the Humvees though, so we can continue with that. What about the main battle tanks? Let's see if they would allow us to get that, or the anti-air, anything that... That's a main battle tank, 1995. And you get some self-prepared artillery. No, they consider this too advanced for us. Well, that's great. They would give us these tanks. Oh, they would even give us this recon tank. Okay. So they don't think this recon tech is too advanced for us. But this is. Yeah. Okay. So what about something here that maybe we could use? Nope. 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 So ATGMs, airborne IFVs. No, they consider all of this too advanced for us. So I'm not sure if we're using the recon tanks for anything. We do have some, and they're extremely old. So let's look at our army if they could use this. Main battle tank utility vehicles. What about you? Do you use those? Mounted. Wait, you're not a tank division. What am I even talking about? Yeah, it's airborne infantry. So we get only 2 divisions that are actually using these tanks. So is there like a recon tank? I don't see any units using that. Is there a recon? Armored airborne, tank battalion, heavy engineering. Yeah, there's no. We have no use for it. I don't know why. Maybe we just don't know how to use those. Maybe it's part of the technology tree, something like that. And it was armored. And you. So armored. This is weird. Okay, let's put in. Okay, armored this one uses recon tanks. Okay, so these guys are doing that. How fast are they? If we, for example, put them on the mechanized brigades. Okay, they would not. They wouldn't mind. So recon tanks, they would help quite a lot of things, though the reconnaissance is not that great. Fuel capacity, extra soft attack, extra hard attack, extra defense. If I compare it, for example, to a heavy mechanized, yeah, that's just so much better. Okay, so I don't think that is good for us. So let's leave that idea out of the table. For now, we can be happy that we have the Humvees. Okay, we will soon start replacing again, and that will just make me happy. We're also working on the APCs, on the BTRs, and we're making some reserve ATGMs and some manpads and skiffs. So that is pretty damn good. I think we can be happy with that. And we're also making money, which is something that I can personally get behind. So awesome. Yep. Lowered our debt by nearly 5 billion, haven't we? That is decent. That is decent. Okay, so on that note, I'm going to end the episode here. We have a new government. We have delved a bit into negotiations with the United States, but for some reason they just consider us too damn, backwards, I guess would be the word, to use their tanks or use their better equipment. No idea why, but they just do. So we're just going to stick with the Humvees for now, and eventually we're going to see if we can get something better. But, we still got 894 Humvees to replace. We got hundreds of APCs and over 1,000 of IFVs to replace. So we'll just focus on the ATGMs next and everything. And maybe we can then get some benefit from that. After we finish the infantry automatic rifles, I'm going to look in that. And we're also, getting the better armored personnel carriers. So let's keep that in mind. I think I might just try then to check if we can maybe. That would be a nice test. If we could. Why would I do that? If I could, yeah, it's in the artillery one, yeah. No, because if I request the manpads, they won't give them to me anyway. So why would I research them myself? Well, I'll just research them myself anyway. That's just not the point, but it's weird. Okay, anyway, thank you very much for joining me. I'll see you in the next episode with more about Ukraine. And anyway, one thing that I wanted to offer you guys. I'm thinking all this time about various topics, but if there is something that you guys would be interested in learning about, whether it's from contemporary Ukraine or past, or maybe even my ideas about the future, let me know. If you ask any questions, I'm going to make sure to answer them. So, yeah, take care, enjoy your day, and I'll see you next time.